There's a reason you're here right now, reading these words on this specific day, in this specific moment. It's not random. It's not coincidence. It's not just something that happened to cross your path while you were scrolling. God has something to say to you, and he's been trying to get your attention for a while now. This is it. This is the message. It's time to move forward. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when the circumstances are perfect or the fear goes away or you finally have all the answers. Now, you've been stuck. You know you have. Stuck in the same place, the same patterns, the same cycle that keeps you circling but never actually moving anywhere. You've been waiting for permission, for a sign, for the right moment, for conditions to change, for courage to show up, for God to make it easier. But he's not going to make it easier. He's going to make you stronger. And that starts when you finally stop waiting and start moving. Because what you're waiting for isn't coming to where you are. It's waiting for you where you're going. But you have to go. Here's what's really been happening. Why you've been stuck in the same place for so long. You've been looking back. Not consciously, not intentionally, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You've been facing the wrong direction. Looking at what was, what you lost, what didn't work out, what you wish you could change, what you wish you could go back to. And as long as you're looking back, you can't move forward because you can't walk in two directions at once. You can't step into the future while you're still emotionally tied to the past. God has been calling you forward, pulling you towards something new, something better, something that requires a different version of you than the one that's been stuck. But you haven't moved because you're still attached to what was behind you. And today, right now, God is saying, let it go, whatever it is, whoever it is, however long you've been holding on to it. Let it go, not because it didn't matter. It did. Not because it wasn't important. It was, but because it's over, and you're still here. And there's more ahead of you than what you left behind. But you'll never reach it if you don't turn around and start walking. You know it needs to end. You've known for a while. The relationship that's been draining you, the job that's been killing your spirit, the habit that's been keeping you small, the grudge you've been nursing, the past you've been replaying, the version of yourself you've been clinging to even though you've outgrown it. You know, you've always known, but knowing and doing are two different things. And you've been stuck in the knowing without the doing, aware of what needs to change, but not willing to actually change it, because change is scary. Letting go is hard. Moving forward into the unknown feels more terrifying than staying stuck in the familiar. So you've stayed, even though it's been hurting you, even though it's been holding you back, even though you know deep in your soul that you're meant for more than this. But God is done waiting for you to feel ready. He's done letting you use fear as an excuse to stay stuck. He's done watching you waste the time and the gifts and the calling he's given you because you're too afraid to let go of what's already gone. This is the moment. This is the sign you've been asking for. Move forward. Now, not because you have it all figured out. You don't. You won't. That's not how faith works. You move forward because God said to move. And when God says move, you move, even when you can't see where you're going, especially when you can't see where you're going. Because that's when you actually have to trust him. That's when faith becomes real instead of just a concept you talk about. Here's what moving forward looks like. Practically, today, it looks like finally having the conversation you've been avoiding. The one that's going to be hard. The one that might end something. The one that's necessary even though it terrifies you. It looks like making the decision you've been putting off. Saying yes to the thing that scares you. Saying no to the thing that's familiar but wrong. It looks like letting go of the person who isn't meant to walk with you into this next season. Not out of anger, not out of bitterness, but out of recognition that you're going different directions now. And that's okay. It looks like forgiving. Actually forgiving. Not just saying the words, but releasing the hold that the hurt has had on you. Choosing to let it go so it stops poisoning your future. It looks like starting. The thing you've been planning, dreaming about, making excuses for not doing. Just starting. Imperfectly. Scared. But starting anyway. It looks like stopping. the thing you know is wrong, the thing that's been comfortable but destructive, the thing you've justified for too long. Just stopping. Today, it looks like whatever God has been telling you to do that you've been ignoring. You know what it is. You've known. You just haven't wanted to do it because it's uncomfortable, costly, risky. But that's what he's calling you to. Right now, on this day. And if you don't do it, if you let this moment pass without responding to what God is saying, you'll be in the same place next month, next year, still stuck, still waiting, still wondering when things are going to change. They're going to change when you change. When you finally do what God has been telling you to do, not when it's easy. Now, when it's hard, when it requires faith, when it costs you something, that's when breakthrough comes. Not before. Here's what you're afraid of. The real reason you've been resisting. You're afraid that if you let go of what you have, even though it's not working, you'll end up with nothing. You're afraid that if you step out in faith, you'll fail. You'll look foolish. You'll prove all your doubts right. You're afraid that God is calling you to something you're not capable of. Something that's going to expose your weaknesses, your limitations, your inadequacy. And you're right. It will. That's the whole point. God isn't calling you to something you can do on your own. If you could do it on your own, you wouldn't need him. He's calling you to something that's beyond you, something that will require you to depend on him completely, something that will stretch you and challenge you and change you, because the you that's been stuck can't handle what's next. You have to become someone different to walk into what God has for you. And that transformation doesn't happen while you're standing still. It happens while you're moving forward, even when you're scared, even when you don't know how it's going to work out. That's where faith grows. That's where character is built. That's where you discover that God is more faithful than you ever imagined. But you have to move. You have to take the step. You have to let go. And when you do, when you finally stop waiting and start walking, God meets you. Not before. In the step. He doesn't give you the full plan before you move. He gives you the next step. And when you take that step in obedience, in trust, even though you're terrified, that's when the next step becomes clear. That's when the path opens up. That's when you start to see that he really has been leading you all along. But you'll never see it if you don't move. Faith isn't standing still and hoping God will do something. Faith is moving forward and trusting that God is already doing something, even when you can't see it yet. So here's what you do right after you finish reading this. You make the call. You send the message. You have the conversation. You make the decision. You take the action. Whatever it is that God has been pressing on your heart, whatever he's been calling you to do that you've been avoiding, you do it today, not because you feel ready. You won't feel ready. You're not supposed to feel ready. You do it because God said to do it. And that's enough. You're not moving forward because the path is clear. You're moving forward because God told you to move, and he'll make the path clear as you go. One step at a time, one day at a time, one act of obedience at a time. And as you move, as you trust, as you let go of what's behind and reach for what's ahead, you'll start to see it. The breakthrough, the change, the new season that's been waiting for you to finally step into it. It won't all happen at once. It won't be easy. It won't be without struggle or doubt or moments when you want to turn back. But you can't turn back. Not anymore. Because you've heard from God. Today. Right now. And when God speaks, when he tells you to move, the only right response is obedience. Not perfect obedience. Not fearless obedience. Just obedience. Scared, imperfect, trusting even when you don't feel like it obedience. That's what he's looking for. Not your strength. Your willingness, not your ability, your availability, not your readiness, your response. So respond. Today, now, let go of what's behind you. Turn your face toward what's ahead and start walking. God is already there. He's already prepared the way. He's already working out what you can't see yet. All he needs is for you to move, to trust him enough to take the step, to believe that he's leading even when you can't see where you're going, to let go of the familiar and reach for the future he's prepared for you. This is your moment. This day, this message. It's not an accident that you're reading this right now. God is speaking, and what he's saying is clear. It's time. Time to stop waiting. Time to stop making excuses. Time to stop letting fear keep you stuck. Time to move forward into the unknown, into the uncomfortable, into the new season that's been waiting for you. It starts today. It starts now. It starts with one step. So take it and watch what God does when you finally trust him enough to move. You won't regret it, but you will regret staying stuck. So go, move forward. God is with you, and what's ahead is better than anything you're leaving behind.